Hello and welcome to Insights with Thomas Caldwell on Thursday, January the 5th, 2023. Happy New Year, Tom.
Happy New Year to you too.
Thank you. Now, there was a lot of bad news in the media last year and the pundits were quite negative in their commentaries. What's the reality?
Well, we had four key factors last year. The fear of interest rates going through the ceiling. Inflation as a major problem. The possibility of recession and wars and rumors of war. So you had those four things. And frankly, media and you say the pundits literally beat those to death. You think, well, like heavens, the world is ending. If you look at the year, the Dow was down, I think, about 5 or 6%. Toronto, or I know it was 7%. And the Dow was down, or Toronto was down about 6 or 6%, thereabouts. That is not a major collapse, given the tremendous increases we've had. So it shows the markets were quite resilient. Now, you did see major declines in the tech stocks, the Zoom things, the things that are 100, 200, 400 times earnings, Shopify, sort of thing. Eventually, those bright, shiny objects all fall to earth. Eventually, growth stocks become value stocks. And that's what was happening as a readjustment. But if you stuck to the real economy, the things that we play in the big cap stocks, it was not a bad year. In fact, we were positive. In Urbana, the one company I managed, we were up about 8.5% on the year. So that wasn't a bad year all in, despite all the negativity that we had to experience and listen to.
So what do you think of the markets right now?
The same factors are still in play, inflation, recession, interest rates, and war. You can focus on those, but as I said, I'm an optimist because optimists tend to be richer than pessimists. But it isn't that you look at the world in a Pollyanna sense. What you're looking at is looking for opportunities. And inflation will probably moderate to some degree. I think we're nearer the end of the interest rate increases than the beginning. There'll still be a few more going on. Are we going to have a recession or a slowdown? Frankly, that's a moot point. And the war will grind on until it's finished somehow or other. But the interesting thing, people are so concerned about recession. Remember, recessions come and go. Slowdowns come and go. The only constant is inflation. Inflation is always a factor. At some level, whether it be 2%, and it never was 2% when they said 2%, or whether it be where it is now, inflation. So you have to invest for inflation. That is the only constant. So right now we have a period where we have this fear level of, oh my gosh, these terrible things are going to happen. We're still coming off that nonsense. But remember, any of us have gone through periods of being fearful. Remember, your fears were always worse than the reality. So the fear level is still kind of high, and that's where the bargains live. When I say, where's the opportunities? I'm very focused on financial services and energy. In Canada, that's all I own is banks and energy. In the United States, you have a far wider spectrum, and so I tend to focus more in the U.S. But let me just give you an example. If I take a look at the financial services sector, and I'll just pick one stock, but I'm not hanging my hat on the one stock. But if you look at, say, Bank of Commerce. Bank of Commerce, they've not had a good track record in terms of their investment programs. But here's a stock that's down 35% last year, 35%. And it now gives you a yield of about 6.2%, almost 6.25%. That's like an 8.5% bond. So, and they don't cut bank dividends in Canada. That's a career interrupter. So my basic point is I can get a good return on my money just on the dividend, and all they need to do is just have a little improvement in the stock price, and I'm back into double-digit returns. So I think the time of opportunity is now. So I've started to commit some funds to that sector in Canada.
That's great. Thank you so much for your insights, Tom.
You're very welcome.
And thank you all for watching. Bye for now.